So as a business owner, what are the difficulties and challenges you have faced in your business in regards to what you do?
Well, as silly as it may sound, deciding where I was going to practice and if I was going to practice alone or with somebody, with a group, or even with one or two other people, deciding if I was going to become contracted with insurance companies to get clients or just seek private pay clients that were going to pay out of pocket as opposed to through insurance. Also, sometimes there have been clients that I've met with that didn't really want to be there. So, for example, I would see a male client whose wife pushed him to go into counseling. And he would tell me that in the beginning. And then maybe 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, he would just explode into anger and walk out. It had nothing to do with what I said. My interpretation, which may or may not have been valid, was that he was looking for reasons to justify not being there, and he deeply resented being there. Another difficulty that I have, and it's just a difficulty for me, because I feel sad about it, is that when someone tells me what they want to accomplish, and this doesn't happen very often, luckily, when someone tells me what they want to accomplish and they don't follow my guidelines, they don't even just try. I'm not saying they don't obey me. They don't even give it a try. And they keep complaining about the same problem. That's a challenge. There are ways to work around it, and, do my best to be as helpful as possible. But the bottom line, and I've had this experience where certain people have not taken my suggestions and they just stopped coming to me. One perfect example, and this was a very, 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 for me, an extremely sad example. I was meeting with a couple who had a very young child, and the woman was drinking alcohol excessively. And of course, that affected her personality. And she didn't want to stop drinking. So the last counseling session we had, during the time we were talking, she just exploded, screamed at her husband, told him that she's filing for divorce, and walked out of the counseling session. When I say that's difficult, what I mean by that is it's difficult in the sense that I always talk with people having the firm belief that anyone can accomplish anything realistic that they want to accomplish, and people can get past their challenges. So when I'm counseling someone who's not willing to see, because I never guarantee anything because you can't, but they're not that person, when a person's not willing to see if my suggestions can help. And as an example, when it ends up in the breakup of a family, it's hard for me in terms of the sadness that I feel, because in my belief, what's possible was not going to happen.
I really understand that, because I do a lot of on my other channel, I'm not an actual qualified coach, but I do what I call a lot of coaching from life experience about dating and relationships on my other channel. And I share my own life story a lot. So it's a bit like a reality TV chat show I do. And I talk about dating and scenarios I've been in with guys. And unfortunately, I'm an empathetic person, and I do have a history of attracting abusive people. I've done a course in the UK, which is a pattern changing course which took me 14 weeks to do, which is spotting signs of abusers and the words they use and the actions they do or do not do, the things they say, gaslighting, all that lot. So I'm quite well trained in that. And I've obviously learned a lot through doing the dating process myself. But I have a lot of guys and they are, you know, they're not being the guy they could be. So I see all the potential in these guys. Like, for example, this year I went on dates via Facebook dating. I'm on a break from that now, but at the time I met up with 2 different guys in the UK, both foreign guys, because I like foreign guys. And one of them, he completely like lied, well, about his story. I say complete, there was some truths, but you know, it was very much a different story, I found out. And he tried to come back into my life and give him another chance, which he completely failed on, because he was like using it as, if I tell you the truth, will you be in a relationship with me? I'm like, but that's not how it works. That's manipulation. But I see, because I'm an empathetic person, which I feel that you are as well, I see the potential in people so much. And I'm like, if only you would see that you're wasting your life being this type of person, when you could live a much more fulfilling, happy existence if you just learn how to communicate better and improve yourself and help yourself. And, you know, there was another guy who I met up with. He didn't lie to me, but he was even on my channel this week coming after me again. But he's very much into physical stuff. And that's really the reason he's after me. And so it's very difficult, because I did have feelings for this guy. But again, I see that he's used some manipulation tactics, some narcissistic traits that he's had. And I even go on my channel. These people, I tend to block them on my channel, but some of them create new channel usernames. And also, if you block someone on your YouTube channel, they can still watch you. So I have these people watching me, and when they come back into my life, like a couple of them, both of these guys have come back under different usernames and have in different places, like by phone and by email, and they've said, I watched your channel, Sandra, and I'm like, that's great, like, but I'm there as thinking, what have you learnt from it? Like, because I teach a lot of the way to communicate more effectively, be a good person, be better at being the best version of you, be better at dating and relationships for yourself, and, you know, state what you want, work out what you want, communicate that effectively, you know, don't just like try and randomly go for anything. And I teach a lot of really good, important morals and ethical stuff on my channel, but they tend to watch me, but they're not taking this in. And I even say on my channel, look, you know, don't be this person on your deathbed when you look back and you've treated like women, because, you know, I think some of them are coming from a I'm more superior type of stance as well. So I say, you know, don't be this type of person that treats women like this or anyone like this. Be the better person, because do you really want to be that person on your deathbed that is literally thinking, oh, I treat people like this, like what did I do with my life? You can change now. And I like younger guys, so, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, I know they're younger, but I'm like, I treat them like an adult, because I think it's important to treat people who are younger like adults, so that they get used to behaving like an adult. And I try to instill really good information into their kind of like minds to help enable them to be a better version of themselves, to help them throughout their whole life. Even if they don't end up in a relationship with me, I want them to be better for another girl or another person, you know. And it really, like, I feel like you do, I feel that's such a shame when they do not follow my advice. They're even listening to me, they say, oh, I watch your videos all the time, but they're not taking my advice. I'm like, you could have such a more better life, a more vibrant life, if you were just being your authentic self, not lying, not covering things up, and also, you know, just being a better version of you. Like I keep saying, get into personal and professional development, be the best version of you, but they kind of like, it goes in one ear and out the other, I think. And so they're not actually changing. Even if they pretend they're changing, they're just saying they've changed as a form of getting what they want, rather than actually changing on a cellular level. And I just feel so sorry for them, actually, because I'm like, you know, you don't realize that you're going to lead a miserable life being this way. You're going to lead a lonely life, whereas you could open yourself up and become a better version of you to help yourself and to help others. And so, yeah, I really feel when you said that story about that lady who wouldn't give up alcohol, I just really understood, especially from an empathetic point of view as well, that it's just a shame. Your kind of heart bleeds for them in a way, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, because obviously that person is drinking because it serves a purpose for them. Besides it being an addiction, there is a physical dependence, but also it's serving a purpose for them. Obviously, not facing things that if they did face them, but in their way of thinking, it's too painful to face.
Yeah. Only when the pain of leaving that situation um is less than the pain of doing it will they leave.
Yeah. I guess another way of saying that, which is exactly saying the same thing you said, is when the pain becomes great enough that they want to get out of that pain.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.